back on the road.
All set. Here you go.
Thank you.
Take care. Get it fixed now and pay later at safelight.com.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Volleyball tonight, the TCU Horned Frogs play host to the Kansas State Wildcats. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chuck LaMandola along with Katie Carter here courtside at Scholmeyer Arena in Fort Worth as we get set for tonight's matchup between TCU and K-State. And both of these teams getting into the middle part of their season. TCU has been unbeaten here at home, looking to improve on that. K-State, meanwhile, is looking to rebound from a loss at Baylor.
And that's exactly it. So K-State is definitely looking to bounce back after that Baylor loss and really kind of tweak their defense and block to match up against TCU's fast offense. And, you know, someone who I think TCU is going to try to give the ball to, Becca Kelly. Let's take a look at the spotlight players for tonight. First for K-State. So for K-State, this is a true senior leader, Shaylee Myers. She's the senior outside hitter. Really, she is expected, I think, to put the team on her back. So she is such a physical player. She's really shown kind of her growth throughout her 4 years at K-State. So 15 kills and 7 digs, not too shabby against that Baylor loss back on Wednesday night. And then for TCU, I spoke about her at the top, Becca Kelly. She's only a sophomore and really a powerhouse. So someone who I believe TCU needs to find more of. So offensively, not only in the front row, but I think we're going to see her out of the back row as well tonight.
Let's take a look at the head coaches for tonight's match. For Kansas State, they're led by Jason Mansfield in his 3rd season as the leader of the Wildcats after a long and illustrious career as an assistant. Last stop prior to going to K-State was at Washington from 2018 to 2022, where he was the lead assistant there. For the Horned Frogs, they are led by Jason Williams, who's done an outstanding job in his tenure here in Fort Worth. 4th season as the head coach. You see his overall record there. He's led the Horned Frogs to the postseason in each of his first 3 years. Just underway, and the first serve of the match belonged to TCU, and the first point of the match belongs to the Horned Frogs as well. Sarah Sylvester with the kill for TCU. Alice Volpe with the dig. Murphy had it blocked. Backside set for Evan Hendricks. Hendricks wearing 99 tonight. We've seen that a couple of times. The new jerseys, and this is one of them. They don't have her normal number 2 in it.
It's pretty rare to see a 99. I always giggle.
Beautiful dig on that big swing on the outside. Partially blocked. Volpe with another dig. There's Hendricks, goes to the off-speed shot. Set to the outside, and Shaylee Myers, who you highlighted at the top of the broadcast with her first kill of the night.
And talk about a physical swing. I mean, there are a lot of swings throughout that last rally there, but Shaylee Myers really did finish it kind of with a bang there. We'll be seeing a lot more of that, I can expect from her.
15 kills against Baylor on Wednesday night in their 4-set loss to the Bears down in Waco. Big swing by Hendricks on the outside. Hendricks coming off a 26-kill night against Cincinnati here on Wednesday. She also had 12 digs, so another double-double for her. That's kind of a regular occurrence for Evan Hendricks.
And it's so impressive. It's really hard to do, you know, especially that double-double. You know, she's playing defense and she's scoring up at the net. So it's very impressive. And, by the way, a sophomore.
Rosemary Archer a little bit long on that serve. Ava LeGrand, the senior setter from Nebraska, with the serve. Archer goes to the outside for Hendricks. Dug out nicely by K-State. This time they set the backside for Lauren Murphy, and Murphy with the kill. Murphy's kind of nursing a rolled ankle. She didn't play against Central Florida.
She looks great here, though. You know, something about Murphy, she really gets her feet to the ball. So she's more of that technical player, super smart, and then, of course, that super deceptive arm swing.
Henricks with a deep serve. They go to the outside. That ball's blocked after the swing by Reagan Fox. Fox, again, this one crawls all the way across the net and out. Side out TCU with another point.
Something that K-State coaches highlighted. So I talked to assistant coach Steve Astor. He's in control of the defense for K-State. He talked a lot about K-State's defense and how they need to control it against that fast TCU offense.
Big high set to the outside, and the kill going down the line by K-State. Myers to serve. She picked up the kill a moment ago as well, her second. Becca Kelly. That ball ended up on the floor. Great effort by Volpe after the big swing on the outside by Anaya Clinton.
And, you know, Anaya Clinton, another amazing outside hitter for the Wildcats. Between Clinton and Myers, they are absolutely leading the offense for K-State. They're going to be getting a lot of the balls.
She had 18 kills against Baylor the other night. That one clipped the tape. Volpe does the setting to the outside for Becca Kelly, but a little bit behind her, and Kelly ended up sending it long. 3-0 run here for Kansas State. They've tied it up at 5. Keeping TCU a little bit out of system, and a great tip in the middle by Alexis Robertson.
And libero Alice Volpe just delivering a perfect pass there. You can see Rosemary Archer does not have to move at all. And, you know, Robertson and then paired with Sylvester, the two middles for TCU, they are told to tip right behind the block, jab, throw the ball inside the 10-foot line.
Henricks with the dig. Coleman just kind of pushes it over. Archer sets the outside for Kelly, and Becca Kelly able to terminate that one. 15 kills for Kelly against Cincinnati. We were talking about it earlier. She seemed to be quiet, but you look at the stat line and it's pretty good, and she picks up a kill here.
And you know what, it's plays like that though that it's kind of an offset. You know, she wasn't really planning to make a swing like that or a tip, but she just scores.
To the outside, and a big swing by Anaya Clinton, the redshirt junior from out in Midland, Texas.
And something we don't often talk about, look at Ava LeGrand here, the setter for K-State, dishing the ball out to Clinton. So, you know, LeGrand really leading the offense, running a 5-1 offense over on the K-State side. So just one setter on the court.
Violation by Kansas State. Leads to a TCU point on the blocking error. TCU able to keep it alive and bump it over. Quick set in the middle. TCU had the block set up. Back row attack. This time a little too much pace on it. Coming out of the back was Shaylee Myers, the senior from Lincoln, Nebraska.
You know, despite finding Myers on the court for the K-State side, I really think the balance that they have with Anaya Clinton, and then take a look at the K-State middles too, about to get involved, something that Coach talked about a lot before the match.
Becca Kelly with that one off the block. Kelly back to the service line. You talked about the fact she'll probably play some in the back row here tonight as they try to get or keep her in the match a little bit more. Big swing on the outside. That one just inside the line. Or they're going to say that TCU tipped it, and Jason Williams wants to challenge this. We'll get the call here from Rachel Rodriguez.
TCU is challenging. There was no block touch.
Rachel Rodriguez serves as the down referee here. We'll take a look at it. So the ball was actually out, but the call on the floor was that it was touched by the TCU blocker.
Definitely too fast for us to see in real time. I was just thinking, I just saw a fast swing that looked like it landed out, but definitely the computers, the zooming in that the referees have, they're looking at something we're not. Take a look here, though. I mean, you want to look at those fingertips of the TCU block there. If they're moving, and then that change of direction of the ball, too, that would be a big indicator.
Well, Samara Coleman said there was no way she tipped it. She immediately came down with a quizzical look on her face and said, I never touched it. Now, the question is, did Sylvester touch it?
It might have been a field goal swing. So Samara Coleman's hands were the field goal, and the ball just went right between. It could have been that as well.
It might have caught the fingertip of Sarah Sylvester as it went by.
After review, the call is reversed. Point TCU. They retain their challenge.
So there you get the call from Rachel Rodriguez. TCU will keep their challenge as that call's reversed.
And this is such an important point for TCU because it keeps Becca Kelly in the game. So as long as Becca Kelly is serving and TCU keeps the ball, obviously she's going to keep serving, but more opportunity for her to stay in and be another offensive option for TCU.
Quick set to the outside, and the tip pancake dig by TCU as Fody got down on the ground. The joust won by TCU and then finally terminated off the block on the outside by Anaya Clinton.
And I think these long rallies, there's kind of been some back and forth rallies here. Clinton, zero approach here, pure athleticism, but she's capitalizing on that flying block by TCU.
Now Clinton will go back to serve. And she picks up an ace. Looked like a little miscommunication there with Jaylyn Clark and Alice Volpe as they both kind of reached for it. Clark, the junior from Manhattan Beach, California. They go right back to her. This time she's able to dig in cleanly. On the dump, again, Fody with a pancake dig, but the block was set up nicely by Kansas State. I think it was Williams who got it for K-State. Jordan Williams, the Kentucky transfer.
And, a great recognition by Williams just to stay inside. She doesn't have to go all the way out to the pin, especially well done by setter Ava LeGrand on the setup on that.
Long on that attempt by Samara Coleman. K-State on the 3-0 run here to take the lead. Causing some problems on the receiving end with her serves. That one's floated short again. Outside they go to Hendricks, and Hendricks says that's enough of that.
Definitely, I think all of TCU's side is saying that's enough of that. This is TCU's offense here. They're able to run that lightning speed fast set out to the pin. Impossible to get two blockers up on Hendricks.
Alice Volpe serves it long. Second service error on TCU. And after you break the long scoring run for K-State, the last thing you want to do is just hand them the ball back. Fody saved it. Outside Myers. Shaylee Myers, and right now K-State running their offense very well.
And, you know, a little bit quicker than TCU saw the other night against Cincinnati. I think K-State's really been working on running that faster offense to kind of match the style of TCU and Baylor, for that matter, in the Big 12.
Lauren Murphy caught everyone by surprise. Even though that was the third hit, she had to get it over. It looked like K-State wasn't quite ready for this little push.
And, you know, she could go deep or short with that. That's the thing. If you just look at her, it's a two-handed set over the net. Those ones are always kind of tricky because you see oftentimes players set just in the net on those.
Rosemary Archer with the ace. That's her 17th ace of the year. The Pepperdine transfer comes up short. So after the ace, the service error. And back to serve will be able to grab. Tough ball to handle. But they get it to Hendricks. It tools it off the block.
And something about Hendricks, so not only her vertical leap, but she has gotten so much stronger. Just as any normal freshman, you know, coming in, you're not totally with it yet physically, but you know, Evan Hendricks has really built up her strength. So combine that with that whip of an arm, and you're looking at what you've got with number 99 tonight.
Hendricks gets it to Archer, the tip in the middle by Robertson. And Alexis Robertson comes up with the kill. Timeout on the floor here in the first set. TCU up by a point. We'll take the timeout with the teams to come back with the remainder of the first set right after this. Inside Schollmeyer Arena, TCU with a 1-point lead here in the first set. As we take a look at Shaylee Myers, who you highlighted in the open, and so far she's got 4 kills tonight.
Yeah, so 4 kills on 8 attempts and 0 errors. So, you know, for me, something to talk about with Myers is I noticed right off the bat, her first swing in the match, just amazing strength, really. I mean, the big bang that she delivered. And then another thing I noticed, anytime in the back row, she's available, whether it's a in-system back row set or just kind of a keep it in. So we were right about her, I think, Chuck. We were right. She was going to carry this K-State team on her back.
Well, you're the expert. I just follow your lead, Katie. Don't worry. Quick set in the middle. And the kill from Brianna Schmidt.
In her first attempt tonight, you can see there she's able to just do a cross-body swing that hits the sideline of that court. Super impossible, actually, to defend.
Service error on K-State. Going down the line was Murphy with the serve. They go to the outside, trying to cut that very sharply with Reagan Fox. A redshirt sophomore to Kansas City, Missouri, just couldn't keep it on the court. Murphy, who does a nice job from the service line. 20 aces this year. We've seen her get on some big runs back there. Coleman sends it long.
And I think, you know, looking at the score right now, TCU, although they're ahead by 1, they're giving away quite a few with the missed serves and the hitting errors right now.
Alexis Robertson. Robertson now with 4 kills. Hendricks leading the team. And here's a little dance by Alexis.
That's the I have a good connection with my setter dance. That's what that is right there.
Ella Foti. And again, a service error by TCU. That's their 4th. If you just take those mistakes away, TCU will be winning this first set rather handily instead of just by 1. On the overpass, to put down by Clinton. Kaylee Pond with the serve. Kelly goes to the tip. They go outside. And dump in the middle by LeGrand, the setter. And a timeout taken by Jason Williams. Some uncharacteristic mistakes by TCU, especially at the service line here in this first set.
Well, definitely, and also, you know, ability to really control the ball now. So K-State is serving tough. I definitely will give them that. But, you know, TCU, they're unable to really handle the serve from K-State. And if they can't handle the serve, they can't run their offense. And then it kind of makes everything a little bit, you know, unstable, actually. So I'd say for TCU right now, it's a little unstable. You know, they were leading by 1, but, you know, like you're looking at the score now, it really can go any way. And then I think really for K-State, they're pretty solid. They seem super free, really kind of nothing to lose scenario. I think if I'm a player on their side of the net, I'm business as usual over there. So, you know, I think K-State was looking to bounce back from Baylor, and I think they're on their way to doing that.
Get a look at the Wildcat bench as they go over strategy here for the waning moments of this first set, leading by a point coming out of the timeout.
And I know for TCU, Coach Williams, we talked to him before the match. He talked about kind of switching up the lineup a little bit. So you see the same faces on the court, but the way they're mixed up is different. So Becca Kelly started in a different position than she normally does. And the reason for that is just that setter connection. So TCU plays with 2 different setters, and getting those hitters that connection that they want with whichever setter.
Back row attack by Myers. TCU able to dig it out. Clinton on the outside. And that ball is a side out. She tried to go down the line, but missed wide.
And most of Clinton's kills have been angle, so it's always interesting to see when a player tries to change it up if it's a mistake. Is that the block forcing him, or is that them just trying something new?
We go back to Clinton, and she will terminate that one. A ball that was right at the body of Evan Hendricks. Hendricks couldn't handle it. Too much pace on it for her. We're at the tipping point of the set, 2019 here. if one of these two teams can get on a run. Hendricks trying to go deep into the opposite corner, missed.
It looked like an amazing swing to me. I mean, Hendricks was up and over the double block. It was just long, almost contacting it too high.
Clinton catches the tape. Tough ball to handle, but TCU is there. Sarah Sylvester in the middle.
And that's one of those reasons of that rotation change for TCU's getting Ella Foddy with Sarah Sylvester. This connection here is what Coach Williams is looking for.
Volpe floats it. Tough ball to handle. They set the outside. Some confusion by TCU, but they're able to get it over. And Murphy wins the point for the Horned Frogs. That one wasn't pretty, but it got the job done.
Well, and I said it earlier, Lauren Murphy is, you know, I respect her physically as an athlete, but man, so smart. She recognizes where the defender is standing and where the open spot is in a confused play.
Going to the dump. Again, in the middle is LeGrand. LeGrand doing a nice job of recognizing she had an opening.
And there you see it, no one jumping with her. I mean, open net, TCU has to be on that next time.
Off the tape, service ace by Emerson Van Lannen. And a timeout taken by TCU as they find themselves down 23-21 here in the first set.
And sometimes, you know, when teams kind of just make one little adjustment, change of a rotation, swapping a few players, that can kind of throw off, especially that serve receive. And not because the players, you know, don't know what they're doing. It's because there's a different girl standing next to them. And, you know, at this point in the season, players are already thinking, oh, I'm used to having so-and-so next to me, so I know that in this scenario, she's going to take that ball. But if so-and-so is not next to you, what are you going to do? So that communication has to be extra high level when there's those rotation change-ups. And I think that's what the key is for TCU, is just kind of little communication tweaks and almost adapting to this new, like I said, no different players, all the same players, just jumbled up differently.
Well, and we've seen it a few times tonight where a couple of players have lunged for the ball, and that little just confusion you're talking about is evident by them kind of looking at each other before going for the ball rather than just going for the ball.
Oh, right, yeah, the you go, I go. Yeah, it's the no, I go, I go, I go.
Jason Williams out of the timeout, hoping that he can find a way to overcome this 2-point deficit late here in the first set. Van Lannen, the redshirt freshman setter from Wisconsin, with the serve. Sylvester went with the tip, but dug out somehow by K-State. The K-State defense has been very good so far in this match. Hendricks. Again, K-State with a great dig on the back line. And a whiff in the middle. Sylvester went for that ball, but kind of whiffed, and Jason Williams is saying that he thought that there was a double hit in there somewhere, so.
TCU is challenging that the pancake was unsuccessful.
So Jason Williams, not a bad idea here to use your challenge. Even if you don't win, you end up essentially with a timeout. If it stands, K-State's...
After review, the call is reversed. Point TCU, they retain their challenge.
So good use of the challenge by Jason Williams. We take a look at it.
And, you know, really what you're looking at, instead of a defense for Kaylee Pond, it's a kill for Sarah Sylvester.
And you can see on that look, she just didn't quite get there. Her fingertips hadn't gotten underneath the ball to keep it off the floor. So a good challenge by Jason Williams. It's a big point reversal at this juncture, but now it's up to Archer to serve. On the overpass. The back row attack unsuccessful as Clinton came flying in, but sent it long. And now we're going to get a challenge on the other side by K-State.
Kansas State is challenging block touch.
You know, I'm pretty sure there was one blocker up for TCU. Let's take a look here. So challenging that, okay, there's two blockers, fully two. I got to get my eyes checked. But, you know, Robertson is coming down. Evan Hendricks is coming down. So I'm not going to say that I'm making a call because, you know, I'm tired of being wrong. But, you know, I think it was just the timing was different. And also the swing by Clinton was pretty far out. So I don't know. I think it was an over and out scenario rather than a touch that redirected the ball.
Yeah, the only possibility is Robertson's index finger on that left hand. But again, the referee, Rachel Rodriguez, has some different looks than we have, so she may have a clearer view, and she's also able to zoom in on her little iPad down there. I'm with you. I didn't think it was touched in the looks that we had.
You know, I'm still thinking back to that Jason Williams challenge that he noticed about the pancake. That wasn't a pancake that hit the ground for Kansas State. And look at the score now.
Let's take another look at it. I didn't see on that.
After review, the call stands. Kansas State will lose their challenge.
I was about to say, I didn't see a finger move on Robertson's finger, so you heard the call. TCU with the point. That's a huge point because it evens things up at 23. But again, it's up to Rosemary Archer to make sure that this ball is served in play. It almost doesn't matter whether it's a good serve or not. You just want to make sure that...
Definitely.
Becca Kelly from the back row hits the net.
I like the idea by TCU. I like the idea to get Becca Kelly involved. I just don't know that she is in the rhythm to do that on game point.
Set point. Kansas State. Hendricks with a great dig, kept it alive. Volpe with the bump set for Hendricks. And again, a good job by K-State, but even though she kept it off the floor, she couldn't keep it out of the net.
And you know what? Impressive rally, both sides of the net. Just some amazing volleyball. We had a gator dig by Evan Hendricks on one of the hardest driven swings from K-State.
Timeout taken by K-State. Now you're going to have to explain what a gator dig is.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. So, you know, that's when I have to show it with my hands. It's when you put, it's what Evan Hendricks did. Come on, weren't you guys watching? I think Evan Hendricks, it was a little bit of a self-defense move, but it's when you just have both hands together, kind of opened up, and it popped the ball right up. So that's a circa 1990 maybe defense move. I don't know. But very, you know, just shows not only that reaction from Evan Hendricks, but just the ability to throw something up, and it just popped the ball right up. And then she was able to set the ball and then score. So, you know, like I said, though, both sides of the net, amazing plays. You know, I've got to give props to Clinton for her defense on that back row. Anaya Clinton just doing a great job back there in middle back. I think TCU had about 3 or 4 swings in that entire rally.
Here's the dig you were talking about on this swing. And then,
and you know, mainly what you're looking at there is that hard driven swing from Myers, and really Hendricks is there, pops it up with that gator, and then kind of just step close approach, not really any time to move or get out, or you know, so all around, you know, we've talked about Evan Hendricks multiple times. I mean, every match she is impressing offensively and definitely defensively.
she's back to serve here, with the score tied at 24. And this time, it's K-State who makes the mistake in the middle. Brenna Schmidt with a swing and a miss. And it's set point TCU.
You know, that play is open. You know, I think Lauren Murphy is there, but Brenna Schmidt, she found herself a little too close to the net, and the set wasn't anything she could do anything with. It was a little bit too low to even just tip it over. I like the effort by K-State. I think it's a look that would give TCU a whole nother, you know, they're not expecting. They're expecting the pin hitters.
TCU with 4 service errors tonight. Otherwise, they would be in a little bit better position here. But all the rest of the numbers, you know, pretty much equal for these two teams. K-State came out on fire, was hitting really well. They've dropped to a 154 hitting percentage over the second half of this set.
I think K-State's defense has been great, though. They've really dug a lot of balls. So, you know, TCU's hitting 282. It's not bad by any means, and they're not making a ton of errors, but that just shows that they're getting dug. But hey, you know, some rhythms of matchups. So TCU with Kansas State tonight, it's just different styles of play, and sometimes as a player, you kind of have to flip that switch in your head of, okay, I'm not going to get frustrated. I'm not going to get a kill on my first swing. I just got to keep going, keep working. And that's really what it is for TCU. It's just multiple swings before a rally ends.
Set point number 1 for TCU is Jason Williams has a last-minute word for Evan Hendricks. Hendricks with the floater that clipped the net. Hendricks on the back row attack. And TCU battles their way through a first set victory, 26-24. It wasn't easy.
And it was consistent. Sorry, I was going to say that.
TCU ends it on a 3-0 scoring run. We'll take a break, come back with the second set right after this.
Strength, power, agility, and a team. Kick off the season with big savings during the Toyota Trucks Game Day sales event. Toyota Tundra, built in Texas, driven everywhere. Toyota, let's go places.
Being a leader isn't all fun and games.
It takes hard work, commitment, and an unstoppable drive.
Sure, there'll be obstacles and detours along the way,
but a true leader always finds a way to make it across that line.
Because when you work hard and believe even harder, you discover the sky was never the limit.
So if you're up for the challenge, the next move is yours.
You coming with?
Back at Schollmeyer Arena, TCU taking the first set 26-24. And if we take a look at the numbers here from this first set, kind of indicative of the score, really, in terms of things being relatively even.
Yeah, you know, I think obviously with that close score, you're not going to see a whole lot of big differences. TCU had more kills than K-State, more digs, but actually it was K-State digging more and keeping TCU at that 300 hitting percentage. So, you know, I really think the difference was just the last few points. That's it. And for K-State, it's going to be upping their defense, and I would imagine TCU coming out with a whole different offensive scheme to separate that score with a little bit more cushion.
Devin Hendricks once again leading the attack for the Horned Frogs. No surprise there, as she's been outstanding. Take a look at Jason Mansfield talking things over with his assistant coaches before the start of the second set here. Jason Williams on the other side, pacing the TCU sideline. Made some changes in that first set. We'll see if he sticks with it. The big one being Becca Kelly on the back line to start the set. And we'll see if he sticks with that plan here or he goes back to what has been successful to this point.
And it looks like Becca Kelly's starting where she normally starts. So different from that first set. Becca Kelly starting in the front row and having setter Ella Fadi go back to serve. So, you know, I was just Chuck and I were talking in the break. As a player, you get all warm, and then you've got to start out and wait for your chance to come in. So Becca Kelly, such a physical player, it's good for her to start.
Speaking of that physicality, there it is. Big swing by Kelly on the outside.
And, you know, I can't say it enough, the physicality of this player here. So 1-against-1 scenario, but just keep in mind, Becca Kelly, that's her true swing, that wrist away down the line.
Fody kept it off the floor. Coleman, that one crawls across the tape. Finds just enough room inside the sideline. Big swing from Shaylee Myers. She's had double-digit kills in all but one match this year and well on her way to the same result here. She's got 6 kills. We'll check that 5. Becca Kelly, nice dig on the outside by Lannon, and then Myers comes up short.
You know, something that's a different look for K-State's offense, and maybe Myers in this case here with her hitting mistake, is seeing Becca Kelly in front of her. So it also changes the blocking setup for TCU, getting back to their original rotation that they like to play with.
Becca Kelly with the serve here, and again, it's Myers with an attack error. This time with the left hand, she hit the antenna. And Becca Kelly comes up a little bit short on the serve. That's the 5th service error for TCU. Kelly will stay in on the back row. Cody with the bump set for Coleman. Sylvester able to make enough contact to keep it alive and keep it in play, and then finally they get it to the outside for Evan Hendricks.
And Hendricks here, what I love about this is she sneaks it past the inside hand of Brenna Schmidt. You can see there Schmidt just kind of flies by with that left hand. I think Hendricks recognizes it and goes for that sharp angle.
Blocked by TCU. Go back out to Myers on the right side this time. Lauren Murphy.
And TCU here in system, so really difficult for K-State's block right now to try to close the block on those pin hitters. So if they can keep TCU out of system, they're going to have a little bit easier time blocking.
Fody with the dig. TCU goes to the outside, and again it's Hendricks. Tool off the block this time. She's just got so much power. Unless you're pushing hard and over, you've got no chance to block her. Volpe with a short serve and a nice dig by Simmons. And TCU gets the block closed. Sarah Sylvester, one of the best blockers in the league, comes up with the block and a timeout by K-State.
TCU scheming here to serve where they just did so that they know the set's going to go out to the pin. That way the blockers can be out there.
Timeout on the floor. We'll take it with the teams. TCU with a 4-0 run leads at 8-2 here in the second set. Timeout taken by Kansas State as TCU's reeled off 4 straight points to open up an 8-2 lead here in the second set, already leading 1 set to none. And here in the second set, it's been a much cleaner performance by the Horned Frogs, as they have really been in system and, you know, using all of their offensive weapons.
And, you know, something that K-State did the first set that they can improve on here is just staying scrappy defensively and giving themselves more opportunities to take more swings.
Wildcats were able to get a couple of partial blocks in that first set, which allowed them to dig balls. They haven't been able to do that here. And Schmidt was about ready to celebrate. That ball was kept off the floor, although it did end up going out of bounds. But she actually literally was celebrating. And that ball was in the air coming back over the net. Unfortunately for her and K-State, it was long. Volpe dug it out. Sylvester was able to get it over. Quick set in the middle. And the point belongs to K-State.
And it looks like, you know, 6'6" Brenna Schmidt, when she's given the ball, it's no deal. It's a score, it's a point. So I would say that was what was discussed in the K-State timeout.
Service error. Shaylee Myers serving it long. Rosemary Archer to serve. You see the service errors there. TCU making most of those in the first set. Archer, a tough serve. TCU had the block up, but not close enough to the net to keep it on, or to get it over onto the K-State side.
And that's that low and over that you hear coaches talk about. So look at the TCU hands there. They want to almost push the heels of their hands over that tape of the net.
Nicely done by K-State on the outside. I believe it was Clinton.
Anaya Clinton sort of taking over this part of the set here. She's telling her teammates to come on, and I would imagine she's going to be dish the ball out as much as possible.
Blocked by K-State on that swing by Hendricks. They go right back to Hendricks. Clinton's kill attempt was dug out, partially blocked, and kept alive. Kelly on the back row. And finally, it's Evan Hendricks with her 9th kill of the match.
And this super high bump set, so it's an out-of-system set. Evan Hendricks is able to produce, so what I love about that, most hitters will go angle. They'll go the safe route on that kind of set. She turns it down the line and gets a block touch.
And it almost came from over her head. Hendricks with a short serve, blocked by TCU. Go back outside to Clinton. And again, Clinton able to tool it off the block. And Clinton's tough when she's on that left side.
And she's bringing the fire. I mean, she knows here, I've got this big Lauren Murphy block here. She knows she's going for that block out, really challenging that outside hand of Lauren Murphy.
Kelly pushes it all the way across, and Murphy will just hit it over. That ball long. Some of the K-State players lobbying for a touch at the net, but referee Ron Pelham saying no. It was just over everything. There's Lauren Murphy at the service line. They go back to Clinton, and this time she's a little long. Well, Anaya Clinton's had a good night so far. 7 kills, 5 digs, and a block. 19 total attacks for her so far. Murphy sends it long. 6th service error for TCU. Anaya Clinton with the serve here. In the middle for Becca Kelly, and Kelly able to crush that ball off the block.
And she contacts it so high here. I mean, she's able to get up so high. She sees the block of K-State. She's going for that block out. She wants to use that outside hand there.
Going for the dump. This time TCU read it perfectly and had a double block up. And a great job on the outside. That was Myers. And you talk about some volleyball IQ from the seniors. She started triple block and just tipped it right over everybody's hands.
You know, and what works, you keep doing. So I'll imagine she'll keep doing that. And, you know, finding a way to kind of get back in. I think Myers started out with some errors in that in the beginning of the set. So finding a way to be available moving forward.
And Myers gets the block. Or it might have been Schmidt, we'll see.
Either way, it was the duo. It looks like Myers, it was her hand. Schmidt did a nice job closing at the end.
Van Lennon with the serve. Battle at the net here by both teams. Fody, and there's the block. And again, it's Schmidt with the block. At 6'6", she can get up there.
And let's take a look here. The dig by Hendricks and then dishing it out. Schmidt's there, but LeGrand, her outside hand, I mean, that stuff block, that'll bring the energy to any team there.
Yeah, I thought it was Schmidt, but you're right. On that replay, you could see it was LeGrand who got it cleanly. Nice dig by Fody going into the crowd. And Schmidt on the outside with the kill, and K-State fighting their way back to within a point. Jason Williams wants to take a timeout.
Such patience by K-State here, working to get the ball to Schmidt, and I gotta praise setter Ava LeGrand for running that play. I think that's something K-State is keying on. When they can, they're gonna get it to Schmidt. She's been super successful. 4 kills already just on 8 swings.
4-0 scoring run for the Wildcats here as they have closed within a point. TCU dominated the first half of this second set. Looked like they were going to run away with it, but you know, we looked at the game that they played against Baylor on Wednesday night. Even though they lost 3-1, every set was close, except for the one that they won.
Definitely, you know, they're fighters, you know, and I think it's something I talked about with their coaches before. It's just they have some tweaks here and there that they're working on, just like I think TCU is doing, but it's almost like they're due for the success. They're due for, especially after Baylor. It must be frustrating, right? Those close sets, and then just thinking those whenever you lose close, you just think about those few plays. Man, if I just got a stuff block on that, or if I just push my pinky over a little bit more. So it's actually good to come off a loss like that. You're so clued in to what you need to improve on.
K-State right now sitting in 9th place in the Big 12. Came into tonight 10-5 overall, 3-4 in the Big 12. This is just their 6th match away from home. They're 3-2. Of course, they have a beautiful new volleyball-only facility up in Manhattan, Kansas. So, you know, good things expected. Obviously, the university making a commitment to volleyball to build a single-purpose facility just for them. Becca Kelly with the kill. Myers had it blocked, but it ends up side out. TCU had the block up, just couldn't keep it on the court.
K-State, you know, when they're in system, they're running that fast offense. It's back and forth. You know, both teams, when they're able to run that fast offense, it's challenging for the block, even if you're set up to just jump straight up and angle those hands in the court.
TCU has to go to the tip. And they can't keep that one up off the floor as Fox goes to the off-speed ball and picks up the kill. That'll tie things up at 14.
Making some smart plays here, K-State. That's what's keeping them here in this set.
Another tough serve. Hendricks with the big swing. K-State able to dig it out, and Fox on the outside again. Back-to-back kills for Reagan Fox, the redshirt sophomore.
And Fox taking a quick swing here. So in transition, no full approach, but she still goes hard there. Very smart decision by her to stick with it.
And a good job at the service line here by LeGrand. Evan Hendricks, turnabout fair play. She goes to the tip right in front of Fox.
I think she had that mapped out, predetermined, whatever you want to say. She knew that was going to be a kill. She was in a position to do it as well.
Nice job by Kansas State to keep it off the floor. In the middle, that one is blocked, but Schmidt couldn't quite get her hands on top of it. It just ricocheted, looked like almost off her forearms all the way out of bounds.
It's pretty rare you see that happen. Someone gets a block and it just goes too far. It's usually going straight down.
On the outside, Shaylee Myers tried to go down the line, but missed wide, side out for the Horned Frogs. Volpe at the service line. TCU on a 3-0 run here. Volpe floats it. Nice dig by Volpe on the outside. Hendricks with the big swing. LeGrand able to dig that one out. Fox for K-State. They go to the middle quickly for Sarah Sylvester. And Sylvester's able to get that over before K-State can react. And
you know, I think TCU is just hot right now. They're able to run their offense. They're known for those jabbing, aggressive tips like you just saw from Sarah Sylvester. And I think it's a really smart timeout for Jason Manfield just to slow them down a little bit, get them out of their rhythm. You know, Mansfield, he recognizes, you know, when players are hot, and I think that's TCU right now. And there's enough time for Kansas State, if they can switch it around, to come out on top.
4-0 run for TCU, as you see Myers on the bench, tied with Anaya Clinton, the team leading kills with 7 apiece, but both of them hitting just a tick over 100.
And that's just, you know, that efficiency. So it's a combination of errors and being dug. And, you know, I think the errors are higher, you know, at this point in the set. They have 6 errors as a team, hitting errors. And that's the difference, is that hitting efficiency, making those hitting errors. Definitely not in the right moments. You know, this is a moment for K-State where they've got to keep the ball in, but they've got to do it aggressively without making an error. Pretty easy to do, right?
Yeah, just follow along. Hit it hard, hit it in.
At the same time, yeah.
Don't make a mistake.
And if you can't, then just tip it inside the 10-foot line, but also tip it where no one's standing.
Such an easy game.
It's such a simple game, really.
Alice Volpe on a good run from the service line here. Serves it deep. They go outside, and going down the line was Reagan Fox. And I think Jason Williams is going to challenge this. He's going to challenge whether this ball was in or out.
TCU is challenging that the ball was out.
Fody was a little surprised at the call. Kind of looked over at the bench and said that ball was out.
It was a pretty fast play. So I would say, you know, I don't know how those line judges do it.
And remember, the ball just has to touch the line. The whole ball doesn't have to be inside the red line here. It just needs to hit part of the red line. And that look, it looks like it caught a piece of it, but again, they have different looks than we have. See if we get a better look at it here. Boy, if it hit it, it didn't hit it by a whole lot. But I don't know if there's enough evidence, at least on the shots we're seeing, to overturn this call. And again, you can see Rachel Rodriguez blowing that up in her little monitor there to see if she can get a better look at the ball when it hits the ground, whether or not it was on the line or just past it. So far, Jason Williams 2 for 2 in his challenges here tonight. K-State 0 for 1 on their challenges.
After review, the call is confirmed. TCU will lose their challenge.
Well, there you have it. Call confirmed. TCU loses the challenge. The point goes to K-State. The kill belongs to Reagan Fox. That's her third. Breaks the run for TCU. Nice job by K-State to keep it off the floor after it hit the net. Hendricks just inside the line. And now it's Jason Mansfield's turn to question this call.
I don't know. I mean, Hendricks in between the block here, so the touch would have to be on Schmidt. I think it would have to be her right hand.
Kansas State is challenging no touch.
It's always not a bad idea to slow the game down when you're
Well, especially at this point of the set. I mean,
yeah.
If this call stands, TCU will have a 19-16 lead. If it's reversed, it'll be 18-17. Big difference this late in the set. Hendricks with a wry smile on her face. Let's take another look at it.
Oh, well, actually, you know, if you're taking a look at Reagan Fox, there could be a misdirection there. So if the ball changes direction, it would have to be touched. So it could be that too. Wonder if that's what,
and I think that's
what they're looking at.
I think that's what they're looking at. I think K-State's saying it was not touched. It looked like that ball, we'd have to see it again, but it looked like that ball changed directions.
Yeah, I think so.
After it went past Fox's hand. Hendricks is not giving us any clue here. Let's take one more look at it here. So here's the swing. Does this ball spin the other way? Hard to tell. It was certainly out.
We know that much. We can do that, Chuck.
That's right.
If they need us.
But the question is, did it touch the hand of Reagan Fox? Now, remember, they have to have enough of a look at it to be able to overturn it. Let's see what the story is here, as Rachel Rodriguez will let us know.
After review, the call is reversed. Point Kansas State. They retain their challenge.
Well, there you go, Chuck. You said. So the score now is 17-18 instead of 16-19. So that's a much more comfy zone for K-State to work with if they want to pull ahead in this set.
Plus, they'll have the serve here with Shaylee Myers at the service line. Good serve, tough ball to handle. TCU able to keep it off the floor, get it to Hendricks, who sends it long. Tied up. So good use of the challenge by Jason Mansfield. This time Hendricks terminates it with some extra oomph on that swing.
And it's got to be so challenging to block Hendricks, not only because of the timing, because of her vertical leap, but you know, she can hit most any spot on the court, so it's really almost like you got to see the ball and grab it.
Archer with the service error. That's the 7th of the match. I mean, if TCU loses this set, they're going to look back at some of these mistakes late, especially the service errors that they've committed. Bump set to the outside for Hendricks, who had it blocked. They go right back to her. She goes to the tip. Dug out by LeGrand. Great job on the defensive end by the Wildcats. TCU ends up winning the point, but you got to give some credit to K-State for some great defense leading up to this point.
You know, and I think, again, Lauren Murphy, she is so deceptive with her arm swing here, so she stays in her body with her arms, and then it's just kind of a whip in front of her. That's hard to read if you're a block.
Hendricks. side out. As the swing from Fox was wide. Hendricks with the topspin serve, a little bit on the short side. That ball on the ground before Volpe could get her hand underneath it. Volpe with a valiant try to keep that ball off the floor.
I don't miss those days of just hitting every bone on your body. Flying around.
A floater over the net. Murphy tipped it over. On the overpass, K-State will win the point as TCU reached over the net.
And Rosemary Archer did her best to try to keep the ball on that side of the net. The fact that it went over, it gave her that back row attack call since she's a back row setter.
Just creeped over the net. Becca Kelly trying to cut that cross court, missed. Side out. And K-State has the lead here late in this set, 22-21. Jason Williams takes the timeout.
K-State is really putting TCU into trouble with their tough serve. So TCU is not able to be in system and run that fast offense that you're used to seeing, that they're so successful at. Actually, they're not able to really do that right now. And that creates some miscommunication, that creates some kind of uneasy feelings. And then I really think TCU just behind the service line, like you said, Chuck, so far they're up to 7 service errors. So that's what's reflecting here. You know, as a player, a coach, a viewer, you think back to that, oh man, if they just didn't miss those service errors, it would be different. So, you know, TCU has to take care of the ball, try to get the ball up to the net, passing so that Rosemary Archer can run the offense.
Just one ace for TCU and only 2 service errors for Kansas State. They've done a nice job at the service line, and that's really, you know, been the thing that's kept the Wildcats in it, is their ability to serve and TCU's inability to keep those serves in. Becca Kelly. 5 kills tonight for her. No blocks for Kelly. TCU with just 1 or 2 blocks all night long. That's it. They've gotten a piece of a number of them on partial blocks, but nothing that we've seen like we've seen before, where, you know, TCU gets a lot of energy off of the blocks from Sylvester in the middle. That ball served long. So Kansas State with a critical service error, just their 3rd, but it comes at an inopportune time. Lauren Murphy. Tough serve. And a great kill by Anaya Clinton.
And Ava LeGrand, setter for Kansas State, running to make a great set off that ball. See how she pushes it from that zone 1, that deep corner of the court. You know, Clinton, you've got to hand it to her too, making sure she waits on that ball.
Becca Kelly pushes it over. They go to the outside for Myers. Archer sets Kelly. And that one 2 off the block.
And that'll work too. The off block out rather, for Becca Kelly. And you look over on the K-State side, they have the libero in right back. So that's to dig that line, run down those tips behind the block. Normally you're used to seeing the libero in left back or even middle back, but usually not in right back for defense.
Emily Van Groningen comes into the match for the Horned Frogs for the first time. They go outside to Kelly, blocked, but kept off the floor by Volpe. And again, the tip. 50-50 ball off the hands of the blocker. And a nice job by Van Groningen.
And this joust scenario here kind of turned into a push and wipe by Van Groningen.
The senior transfer from Pacific doesn't see a whole lot of court time, but is effective when she's in there. Got the block there with Sylvester. Volpe with the bump set for Becca Kelly. And Kelly finds it deep right corner.
And you know, that's the difference there. Those out-of-system sets making big swings on, and that's exactly what Becca Kelly did here with that high, deep corner swing for the win.
3-0 scoring run for the Horned Frogs as they take the second set, 25-23, and lead it 2 sets to none back after this.
There has never been a better time to be part of the Big 12 than right now. This is a defining moment for all of us.
Big power hit from the outside. There it is.
Stop!
It cannot go over. Down the line, big swing. There you go.
And an ace.
We truly are a different league.
There's no one key to game day victory. You need strength, power, agility, and a team. Kick off the season with big savings during the Toyota Trucks Game Day sales event. Toyota Tundra, built in Texas, driven everywhere. Toyota, let's go places.
Frog fans, the 2025 volleyball season is here, and we're starting this season off with a bang. You won't want to miss out as your Horned Frogs host big matches against Texas A&M, Missouri, and some of the best of the Big 12. Once again, Schollmeyer Arena is the place to be all season long. Purchase your season or single game tickets today by visiting gofrogs.com. Come join the TCU volleyball team this season and make some noise.
What we grow here defies expectation. Hungry minds searching for answers. Explorers of the impossible. Breakthroughs without end. People who see the world not as it is, but as it could be. You'd be amazed at what we grow here.
Get a look at some of the big crowd on hand here tonight. Some youngsters enjoying not only the match, but the popcorn as well. As always like a good bucket of popcorn when you're at a ball game of any kind. Chuck LaMondola, Katie Carter were here courtside at Schollmeyer Arena. And Katie, we've been treated to a really good volleyball match, especially on the defensive end. Both of these teams really stepping up defensively.
Yeah, you know, and I think that's kind of why the offense for both sides have just been not super impressive on paper when you're talking about statistics, but really great scrappy plays and really nice rallies.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from that last set.
You know, like I said, lots of swings from both sides here, especially for K-State. You're looking at Myers and Clinton, those pin hitters for K-State, leading the way offensively. Myers with 7 kills, Clinton with 8 kills. You know, and I think really just igniting K-State. It's been some up and down momentum shifts with them, but they're keeping them in it. And then for TCU, Evan Hendricks, the most consistent, I think, for TCU. I think, you're looking at her numbers, 11 kills off of 27 attacks, so one of the higher hitting percentages for her squad right now. But talk about the timing of her big plays. She's keeping her team in it and helping them pull out these wins.
You also saw the 13 digs that she has. We were talking about the defense and just how good she's been on that end, as well as all-around player as we look at the stats from the second set.
Definitely. So we talked about that hitting percentage for both teams not being anything spectacular. It's because of the defense. Both teams playing a lot of defense here. K-State 13 kills, TCU 16. Digs are pretty even in my opinion. So, you know, it reflects in the score. It really does. 23-25 and 26-25. So, you know, that's in the stats. It's those important plays that are going to win sets. It's those important swings at the end.
Let's take a look at the standings heading into tonight's action in the Big 12. Arizona State undefeated in the league. They sit atop, followed by Colorado and TCU 5-1, looking to go to 6-1 and keep their home record unscathed here at Schollmeyer Arena. And then on the other side, the right-hand side of the page, you see Kansas State in the ninth spot in the league. They're looking to kind of move up and catch maybe 19 BYU and then perhaps move up a little bit further as well. This is TCU's best start since they joined the Big 12 back in 2013. So Jason Williams really has this program hitting on all cylinders right now. And he told us, he said, you know, after this weekend, we start the gauntlet. It is a tough schedule for us in the next 5 matches. If we somehow can win all 5, we'll be in the hunt for our first Big 12 championship. But a lot of volleyball between now and then. Third set underway. Bump set on the outside for Hendricks. That ball tipped by TCU at the net. On the swing by Anaya Clinton, who now has 9 kills. Evan Hendricks goes cross court.
You know, and despite being in the third set, K-State has plenty of time to talk over their defense. One thing they can't change, though, is TCU in system, running that fast offense and getting Evan Hendricks 1-against-1.
Great dig by Jalen Clark on the swing from Clinton. Fody hits the deck, keeps it off the floor. Again, good defense. Back row attack that time from Myers. Great rally here by both teams, and that ball comes up short. Tough ball, a handle on the back row. K-State doing the best they could to try and get that ball up and near the net where someone could hit it over. Quick set in the middle. They go to the outside, and it was blocked as Clinton tried to swing cross court. Goes there again, triple block up by TCU. Fody sets Hendricks on the outside. Hendricks just powers it down the line. Big swing by Evan Hendricks. 13 kills, 13 digs. She's got another double.
And she likes it super fast, and you can see there she really utilizes that. She just finds any little opening she has, especially when it's down the line, to squeeze the ball through.
Volpe with the serve. Great swing by Sylvester in the middle on the overpass. She did not hesitate to take a big swing there.
I think she's been itching to take a big swing. She hasn't really gotten too many opportunities this match so far.
Volpe with the floater. Bump set to the outside for Hendricks. And that time, Clinton just too much on it for a single block to keep it on the, or get it on the other side of the net.
And you know, Clinton is super versatile. She has a lot of great sharp angle swings over the block, but she's a threat down the line too.
10 kills for her now. And that time, Kansas State got the block up. Fox combining with Schmidt. They read that perfectly on the outside. So right back to Clinton. Had it blocked. This time they go to Fox on the other side. And TCU with the block up. Sarah Sylvester. Hendricks was over there, but it was Sylvester who got it. One of the better blockers in the conference.
You know, something to remember about Sarah Sylvester and middle blockers in general on the block, they're in charge of picking out when it's going to be an angle swing. I got to stop short. I got to get up and over.
Murphy.
And it must be such a challenge for the K-State block. I can't say that enough. TCU insists them. Where do you go? Where do you go? If you're Schmidt in the middle for Kansas State, you've got to get a run on one side. It's just hard to choose.
On the overpass, Murphy tried to just stuff it. Good job by the Wildcats. And that time a block there by Alexis Robertson. And we talked about TCU not blocking early. They've got a number of them here in this third set.
Exactly. Robertson and Sylvester decided, all right, we got to get on the board here. Let's do this.
Archer clipped the tape. Clinton, big swing, and she's just an offensive force, the redshirt junior out of Midland. Mentioned she had 18 kills against Baylor last time out. Up to 11 here. Had 14 the match before against Tech. If you're wondering about her career high, it's 25. That was set earlier this year against Iowa State. She also, or excuse me, against Cincinnati. She also had 25 against West Virginia. Couple of points in a row here by Kansas State as they try to stay in this match, trailing 2 sets to none. Nice block by the Wildcats on the swing by Hendricks. TCU goes right back to her. And she goes down the line.
And you know, you're looking at Hendricks and Archer just talking about the set. You know, Hendricks, awesome job finding that opening down the line. You know, she utilizes that. But, you know, the setter-hitter connection, TCU is continuing to work on that, continuing to talk about it.
Off the slide, blocked by Becca Kelly. Going to the tip was Clinton. Kelly with the roll shot. Backside set. Out of the back, it's Hendricks, and I see Hendricks a little frustrated. But she had the 6'6" Brenna Schmidt right in her face.
And, you know, Schmidt did a nice job here taking away a spot, and I know why Hendricks is upset, because she probably didn't think Schmidt was going to come back and block. So nice movement by Schmidt to come back there.
That was an athletic play by Schmidt because she was moving in one direction, had to stop. And I believe that was Schmidt with the kill on the outside. It wasn't one of the prettier ones you'll see, but it was effective to get the job done.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes that's all it is, Chuck, is just go where you're supposed to go, run your path. If you're given the ball, find a way. And sometimes when you're tall, it helps out.
50-50 ball, and Archer reached over. So an attack error on TCU will even things up here in the third set. I gotta say one thing about the Wildcats. They have made it tough tonight on TCU. The first set went to overtime, and that one
I was going to gator it. That's all I have to say. I'm trying to be Evan Hendricks over here just with my gator like this. And just Chuck just stole my time to shine.
I just didn't want to get hit in the face. I didn't know we were playing.
I know. We have to be, we have to be more ready. Take off our jackets next time.
Side out. TCU at the point. Myers didn't really have much of an angle to try and hit that ball, but ended up out. Murphy will serve for TCU. Becca Kelly. Schmidt didn't really have much of an angle and just a little too much power behind it. Couldn't get over the top of it. Was out by a couple of feet. Murphy goes down the line. Myers on the overpass, and it's Myers with the kill. This is the kind of the time that TCU's got to take advantage of Clinton being in the back row.
But Myers is heating it up too. I think she's trying to trickle in, trying to little by little just kind of chip away, get her points where she can. She can be an energy feeder for K-State too.
Nobody there for TCU. A mistake by the Horned Frogs. Some miscommunication there with a couple of new players, and that's Emily Von Groningen, who's in the match, and it looked like she and Archer were not on the same page. There she is there. She does have a good connection, though, with that young lady, Becca Kelly.
And it's nice to see Becca Kelly give a great pass and then swing out and send this ball down the line. It kind of caught the defender at her chest. Those are the ones, the hard-driven chest ones that, how do you defend that?
Now, when they're right at you, you don't know what to do. Off the block, kept alive by TCU. The joust won by the Horned Frogs at the net. They go right back to the outside, and Myers is able to score.
And Myers with multiple attempts here, but she's able to finish it just with the no approach, all out, big swing. Caught those TCU blockers off guard. That's what I'm saying about Myers is she's trying to chip away here. She's sending energy offensively.
Tip ball by Becca Kelly for the kill. Kelly now with 9. You mentioned Myers a minute ago with that last kill for K-State. She's got 9 kills also, so closing in on double digits. Becca Kelly will serve. Fox with that swing. Hendricks dug out nicely by Kansas State. Kelly with the bump. Hendricks just pushes it over. And there's Sarah Sylvester in the middle. And they're going to challenge this. Kansas State with the challenge here.
Kansas State is challenging a net fault.
Well, she didn't hit the net. The question is, was she reaching over to push that ball straight down?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm just not sure that you can challenge an over call. But yeah, take a look at Sylvester here. Reaching up and over, throwing it down. So I'm not a referee, but if I was, I might say overthrow. I don't know about the net though. And I'm wondering if when they're looking at for the net, they see something else that might contribute.
Yeah, they can be looking for one thing and call another.
Yeah.
We've seen that before. So once you ask for the challenge, everything comes into play. So let's see what the call is here from Rachel Rodriguez.
After review, the call is reversed. Point Kansas State. They retain their challenge.
So what the ref is not sharing is that was it a net or not? It's just the call is reversed. We're on to them. And you know, that has to be, coaches know. Coaches know, all right, that was a throw. We can't challenge that. I'm going to say net. It's close enough. Very smart challenge.
So on reversal, it's a 1-point K-State lead. Henricks. That one in the net. Clinton tried to cut it sharply cross court. You can see she was a little upset with herself after that swing. They go right back to Clinton, who's now in her favorite spot. This time, Sylvester with a clean hit in the middle.
And the Ella Fadi, Sarah Sylvester connection, it's so tight. They have it dialed in. You can see the smile on Sylvester's face after that kill.
That one off the block. Nice dig there by Jason Williams. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
He doesn't have a
He's
libero
not standing inside the court, you know.
Former setter, so. .50-50 ball, and Schmidt's right there to just slap it down on the overpass. Timeout on the floor taken by TCU. As K-State has a 1-point lead here midway through the third set. We'll take a timeout with the teams. TCU on top 2-0, but K-State leading here in the third set. Holding a 1-point lead here in the third set. See the coaching staff talking things over. They've been unable to win a set, but they've been in the first two. Just some good play by TCU at the end to get them over the top.
Yeah, you know, I think the defense for Kansas State, I really think the serve has gotten TCU in a lot of trouble. And that's what's happening now. You know, Jason Williams just called a timeout. K-State is giving him a tough time in serve receive. And, you know, if TCU isn't able to run their offense, it's hard to stay in a rhythm, especially in a tight set like this.
Served by Sims. TCU with the point. A couple of changes on this rotation for the Horned Frogs. Robertson into the game. TCU bench players doing a little dance. Archer with the serve, set in the middle for Clinton. And that was well designed by Kansas State. Clinton the second person through with the big swing.
And such an answer back. K-State with their fast offense here. And that's that 1-against-1 scenario for Clinton that you're seeing. So very similar to what TCU just did the play before.
And another great serve by Kansas State, causing some problems for TCU. Hendricks on the overpass right there. Terminated.
And even on an overpass swing, Hendricks is flying high. You can see there she's able to spring up and kind of turn that ball any direction you want. Really, when you're kind of a level above everyone else, you can do a lot of things.
Hendricks to serve. Archer goes to the outside for Becca Kelly, and the block was up. Nice job on the outside by LeGrand. Schmidt was over there as well. Anaya Clinton to serve. And again, some problems for TCU, but a great job. You have to give the TCU setter the credit there. She pulled this ball back.
And that's that one hand you see Rosemary Archer throws up. It's almost like a save for the ball. But nice job by Robertson just sticking with it and running that quick play.
Murphy with the serve for TCU. And Gornigan back into the match, and the tip comes up short by Ava LeGrand. Good serve by Murphy. And back to the outside. Out of the back row. Well, and that's set perfectly for Hendricks. She's able to terminate balls like this.
And even though it's a transition play for TCU, see how they control it to Hendricks. She's still able to come in quick, and that delivers that big swing for her. That's something that K-State isn't really able to do right now. Anything that's out of system, they're not controlling it enough to get their hitters in a good scenario.
We take a look at the hitting percentage by set. TCU hitting 300 in that first set, 225. Just 132 in this set, but K-State hitting just 045, and that's kind of the difference right now. Is TCU's got a 3-0 scoring run to open up a 19-17 lead.
And you can see both teams from the first to the third, the hitting percentage just gets lower and lower and lower. That's that defense. That's, you know, both teams are still staying really scrappy on defense and digging up a lot of balls. You know, this is the third set. I feel like for the players on the floor right now, they might feel like it's the fourth or fifth, just with how many rallies they've had and how many attempts they've taken on the swing.
And that's a really good point, that, you know, a lot of times we'll see a serve, you know, a pass, a set, and then the kill. But in this match, it's been a lot of back and forth, not a lot of just, you know, 3-hit kills.
Definitely.
Going back to Hendricks running the pipe just a minute ago. Boy, we got spoiled over the last few years watching maybe one of the best at that in Melanie Parra. When she was in the back row, she'd almost score at will on that play.
I know. I think Evan Hendricks has a lot of traits, similar athlete to Melanie Parra.
Going to the tip was Kelly, and a great job by K-State's defense to keep that ball off the floor. After Kelly went to the tip, it looked like she was going to win the point. But just a great job defensively by the Wildcats. Kelly forced to go to the tip this time. She wins the point on a much more awkward tip than the one before. That ball was set too close to the net.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was almost on the K-State side. Luckily, Becca Kelly was able to reach up and be over the block that time.
Get a good idea of the athleticism that Kelly possesses on a play like that. Big swing on the outside off the slide that time. Jordan Williams, the Kentucky transfer, has been quiet tonight. Just her second kill. She's nursing an injury. She's not 100%, so that's why she's seeing kind of limited time. She's another great offensive player for the Wildcats. They sure miss her. Pancake, but nobody there. Great job by Fody to keep that ball off the floor. There was just nobody there to receive it.
I mean, Fody is up to like 4 pancakes, I think, for this entire match. It's a nice hustle by her. I think Becca Kelly thought she can jump and tip it over. Maybe she jumped a little too soon that time.
Fody's just an all-around excellent volleyball player. Stuff block by Kansas State on the swing by Becca Kelly.
And that's got to feed some energy into this K-State team, blocking that big swing. And look at that beautiful dropping in by Reagan Fox. She's up, but she drops her hands into the court so that the ball deflects on Becca Kelly, actually.
Fox with a big smile after that block. You see the blocks. K-State out-blocking TCU 9-3. We're used to seeing TCU being the team that comes up with more blocks over the last few years, but this isn't really a team that's built on that aspect of the game.
Yeah, I think in this particular match, it's kind of the matchups, you know. It's sometimes when you have almost similar attackers, similar size, similar athleticism, things like that, it's just not a high blocking game, at least for TCU, but they're doing other things well. You know, Evan Hendricks is able to work around the block. You know, Becca Kelly matches up better, so she's, I think, getting blocked more than you would see an Evan Hendricks get blocked. Sometimes it's almost easier to play. You know, I always like playing against blockers bigger than me so that I can tool them and use them, and that's something probably Evan Hendricks might be looking to do. Oh, I love a big block. That doesn't scare me. I can just use more of them when I swing.
Kansas State with a 1-point lead. They'll have the serve out of the timeout. Ava LeGrand, the senior setter, will serve as K-State looks to steal a set here from the Frogs. Fody sets the outside. And Van Groningen coming off the 1 foot, comes up short.
A little bit of a traffic jam for TCU, and Van Groningen trying to get around for the slide after Alice Volpe got served there. So that's a scheme that Kansas State is working on, to serve cross court to throw TCU off their offense.
Great job of digging by K-State. Hendricks with the dig. Kelly, long. Kansas State opening up a 3-point lead here late in the 3rd set. And again, it's K-State doing the job at the service line. I don't know what K-State could be challenging here. I thought they got...
TCU's challenging, Kansas State is challenging no touch.
I thought they had given the point to Kansas State.
That's what it looked like to me too, but I think the up ref did call a touch. And you know, he has the final say. So that's what started this. It's interesting. I mean, Becca Kelly's swing almost went up after she attacked it. So that could be a clue to a touch redirecting it, unless it was just, you know, she contacted it wrong.
After review, the call is reversed. Point Kansas State. They retain their challenge.
We've got a good look at it there. Went right over the hands of the K-State blockers.
And I think Coach Mansfield for K-State, he just originally was frustrated and upset because there was no way, you know, that there was a touch on that, is in his opinion.
So it is a 23-20 K-State lead. Some confusion here at the scorers table as they try to get the score right. Great save by Kansas State. Volpe has to really work hard to dig it. Hendricks out of the back row, but again, K-State there to dig the ball. Defensive work by the Wildcats has been outstanding, and they score. And Fody said, I got my hand underneath it again.
Fody has the lucky pancake hand tonight, so I trust when she goes down that it's up. So take a look here at this Myers swing. There's the Fody pancake, and there's the Volpe, I don't know what I'm gonna call that.
Yeah, but it looks like that Fody was right. Fody was very frustrated right away with that call.
TCU is challenging that the pancake was successful.
And I agree. I mean, you can almost see it right there. And then, man, the Fody Volpe combination, pancake scoop.
I would imagine the only thing you can do here, though, is replay the point, because you obviously can't award TCU the point since the whistle blew everything dead, so you'd have to replay the point, but it's a big one. It's a big challenge here.
I don't know.
On that first look we had, it looked like she got her hand underneath it.
After review, the call is reversed, which results in a replay. TCU retains their challenge.
Yeah, Fody, who doesn't really show a whole lot of emotion, was very adamant right away. She was like, are you kidding? And obviously she would know. And sometimes you can tell by the way the player reacts whether or not they're trying to just sell it or they believe it.
We'll never know.
Well, we do know, because they're replaying the point, but at least as far as we're concerned, they know.
Yes, exactly. I think if there's a thumbnail, then it counts.
A big reversal, but TCU's got to take advantage of it, and they can't, as Becca Kelly tried to cut that ball, and it's set point for the Wildcats. And that's long. Service error number 4 on Kansas State. TCU still with life, but they're facing their second set point here. Becca Kelly to serve. Hendricks. Evan Hendricks finds some space. 17th kill of the match.
And just such a fluid swing here, up and over, swing, you know, unstoppable.
Set point number 3. Sylvester. Timeout taken by Kansas State.
And what a gift for Sylvester with the overpass here. I think besides having an ace, the next easiest thing can be the overpass. So Sylvester definitely doing her job there, taking care of the net.
Well, TCU closing the gap here to within 1, but they'll face their 4th set point. 3-0 scoring run has gotten them back to within 1. TCU had faced a couple of set points in the first set, able to overcome it. But this will be a tough one. If they're able to come back from facing 4 set points, that's a pretty impressive feat.
Well, really, I mean, TCU's defense has been better than their offense in this set. So, you know, usually you don't want to be, you know, obviously you want to be serving because that means you have the ball, but to be defending, that's tough. You know, because obviously you can miss your serve and then maybe you serve easy and they score easily. But really, TCU, I think their defense has been pretty solid. And, you know, they don't have a lot of blocks, but if they're digging a lot of balls, the block is doing something.
58 digs for TCU. 48 of them for Kansas State. And we've been commenting all night about how good both of these defenses have been. So out of the timeout, Becca Kelly will serve. Sarah Sylvester with that last point for the Horned Frogs now has 10 kills in the match. Kelly with a tough serve. And that is out.
You know,
4 straight points for the Horned Frogs.
Right, and I love the effort. I have to say, I love the effort by Myers. I think there's not much you can do there. It's that tough serve that started that entire play.
Kelly, another tough serve. And that ball hit the antenna. Match point, TCU.
Coach Jason Mansfield for K-State just questioning this call, asking what happened there. Why did they blow the whistle? I think he was hoping that maybe his players could have saved that ball. If you take a look, Ava LeGrand, she saved it. And, you know, it does look like, you know,
the antenna wobbling a little bit.
There you go.
Kelly, another tough serve. Blocked by TCU. And go back to the outside for Myers. There's another block. Myers way off the line. Clinton saves the day for Kansas State.
And how about Clinton out of the back row? Not at all what she's planning on right here. You can see she's coming down. She swings anyways. That lures that mistimed block by Sylvester.
Service ace for Kansas State. Myers. And it'll be set point number 5 for Kansas after we come back from the timeout taken by Jason Williams.
Kansas State, I think, sitting in a great position. They have the ball, obviously. They are the tough serving team right now. You know, that last round of Becca Kelly serving for TCU, that was a surprise. There's not been a run of tough serves for TCU leading up to this moment right here. So that's what kept TCU alive in this set, is Becca Kelly with that run of those tough serves.
5 straight points with her at the service line. TCU actually had match point, just couldn't convert it. And now 2 in a row by Kansas State has the Wildcats in position to take in this third set. And you got to give K-State some credit. After TCU was down 24-20 and then reeled off 5 straight points, had a chance to win the match, K-State never folded. They hung in there.
You know, that's kind of been the theme this entire match so far, you know, and it reflects in the scores and it reflects in their scores against Baylor. You know, so even though they lost that match, those scores were so close. So it just, you know, it shows this team is due for everything to click, for it to go their way.
Set point. Shaylee Myers will serve. And it's long. So well taken timeout by Jason Williams, kind of froze Myers and forced the service error. Volpe to serve for TCU. Going to the tip. Guess who? Fody again on the floor to keep it alive. Back row attack from Myers. And it'll be another set point for Kansas State. And Myers single-handedly keeping the Wildcats in this set.
And you know Myers is telling herself, just go for it. Take your biggest jump and your biggest swing.
Hendricks. Well, when you need a point, it's nice to know that 99's standing over there.
And Hendricks is telling herself the same thing. Go for it, take a big swing. This is the time. And what a better spot than that last foot of the court right in the corner.
Rose Archer to serve. Tough serve. Punched over by the Wildcats. Myers out of the back row. There's the bump set for Hendricks. Sims on the back, kept it alive, and it's Clinton able to get it off the block, and another set point for Kansas State.
I will say Clinton knows this play, the out of system. She loves to use the block. She loves to go down the line. If I'm TCU's end blocker, I'm standing next to that antenna.
Float serve, almost died there. Hendricks had it blocked. Archer bump set all the way across. Hendricks tools it off the block. Neither one of these teams wants to go down here.
And it's the Alice Volpe hustle here that gave Hendricks this second chance. And what a bump set from Rosemary Archer. I think Hendricks, all she had to do was get her body in the air there and take a swing.
28 all with Hendricks at the service line for TCU. She serves it short and picks up the ace. Just a second ace of the match for the Horned Frogs, but it sets up match point. I think she shocked everyone with that short serve. Goes to it again on the overpass. TCU able to handle it. Hendricks out of the back, but couldn't get a big swing on it. Volpe with the bump set for Becca Kelly. Again, K-State up to the task, and it's Myers saving the day for the Wildcats again. Third time in this set. She's kept it alive with a kill.
Both teams looking for their go-to hitter. This case, it's Myers. Again, she has to take a big leap and throw her body forward for that back row attack.
Clinton to serve, 29 all. And it's Clinton with the service ace. Set point. Once again for K-State, they've had a number of them, just have not been able to close it out. Clinton serves it short. TCU's Hendricks ended up hitting it over. Myers had it blocked. TCU able to keep it alive. Hendricks out of the back row. And we're tied again.
And it doesn't get really more exciting than this. Evan Hendricks, she's the go-to attacker right now for TCU. Find her on the court, look for that pink ribbon, and get the ball to her.
Lauren Murphy. Services.
Truly amazing. TCU's aces come just in the last part of this third set.
Match point once again for the Horned Frogs. And K-State says, as Myers once again comes up big when she's needed. We talked about earlier about seeming like you paid an extra set. This is like a 5-set match.
Yep.
Just in this one set alone. Becca Kelly tools it off the block. And it's another match point for TCU.
Becca Kelly with this bottled up aggression here. Look at her let it out right there. Man, that outside hand of Ava LeGrand has got to be feeling that one.
How about Alexis Robertson serving, I think, for the first time all year.
So that means TCU's, they've ran out of their substitutions. They've got to keep Robertson in the back row. And that's what will happen when the set goes this long.
Kelly goes to the tip. And that ball just in. And I think they thought, TCU thought that ball was out. Not sure they have a challenge left though. They lost their challenge earlier. Set point for Kansas State. Hendricks. Hendricks with the dig. Volpe saves it. Archer bumps it over. And Myers finally wins the set for Kansas State.
Amazing power here by Myers. I think Rosemary Archer was caught off guard. She's hitting on an open net to finish the set.
It goes overtime, but K-State wins it 34-32. We'll be back with the fourth set after this timeout.
Frog fans, the 2025 volleyball season is here, and we're starting this season off with a bang. You won't want to miss out as your Horned Frogs host big matches against Texas A&M, Missouri, and some of the best of the Big 12. Once again, Schollmeyer Arena is the place to be all season long. Purchase your season or single game tickets today by visiting GoFrogs.com. Come join the TCU volleyball team this season and make some noise.
Do you like dunks, fast breaks, three-point shooters, and hard defense? Then go to GoFrogs.com right now and get your tickets before they're gone. Horned Frogs basketball is back with the most riveting home schedule we've ever seen. TCU basketball season tickets are the hottest they've ever been. Help defend Fort Dixon this season. Go to GoFrogs.com for more info.
There has never been a better time to be part of the Big 12 than right now. This is a defining moment for all of us.
Big power hit from the outside. There it is. stuffed, and it cannot go over. Down the line, big swing. There you go. And an ace.
You truly are a different league.
Frog fans, get ready to kick it this fall with TCU Soccer. We're bringing the heat to Garvey Rosenthal Soccer Stadium. From clutch goals to big-time saves, the action is fast and competition is fierce. Feel the energy, hear the roar. Be there for every moment that makes TCU Soccer special. The intensity is real, the energy is high, and the only thing missing is you. Tickets are on sale now at gofrogs.com. Let's go Frogs!
Both teams leaving everything on the court in that third set. Kansas State faced a number of match points, never let up. And they did a great job, led by that young lady right there, Shaylee Myers. They faced K-State had 9 set points. And TCU had 3 match points before this set ended. And it was really Myers who did the majority of the work for these Wildcats.
And really, Myers has been a player for K-State that's been chipping away all match. She's had some lulls. She's been able to come back and bring some fire. But one thing about her is her consistency. So one thing that I think she's contributed besides consistency, she's upped the kills for K-State. You know, you're looking at the stats here. Let's go to that. Hitting percentage we're not going to pay attention to because it's not good for either team. But one thing that's different is, okay, kills are equal for TCU to K-State, but K-State actually outscored TCU in that last set. So that to me is the difference. They're taking bigger swings, obviously led by Clinton and by Myers, but everything else super equal. You know, K-State has led in blocks this whole match, so that's not really anything too different that's going on for them. But really, it's just, you know, I think people feed off energy and momentum and adrenaline, and that was pure adrenaline. I mean, if you're watching not only at home but in the Scholmeyer Arena right now, the crowd was just on fire when TCU would score, and the players were feeding off of it, getting aces, big swings, big blocks.
TCU will serve first here in the fourth set. Myers and Clinton leading the way for K-State with 16 and 15 kills respectively. Evan Hendricks has 20 to lead the way for TCU, and the first point belongs to the Frogs on the block by Sarah Sylvester. Sylvester with 11 kills, or check that, 10 kills.
And Sylvester has done her job. She's taking away Clinton's angle here. The question for TCU is taking away Clinton's line.
And TCU with the tack error. Kaylee Pond, the freshman out of Roanoke, Virginia, will serve here. Quick set in the middle. Sylvester tried to end it. And the Wildcats with the point. Clinton went down the line. I think it was touched by TCU. It looked like it was out from our vantage point. But the referee on the stand, Ron Pelham, saying point belongs to Kansas State, and there's a service error on K-State. That's their 6th. Well, both teams exhausting a lot of energy in that last set.
Definitely, and I think starting out again, starting over at 0-0, it's whoever can carry that over, or continue it rather, for this set.
Hendricks sent it long. Looking for a touch, but no touch called. Anaya Clinton. Quick set in the middle for Sylvester. It's one of Sarah Sylvester's better offensive nights. 11 kills for her. Normally we talk about her in terms of her blocking ability, but tonight she's been scoring. She'll serve here. To the outside, blocked. Hendricks tried to go down the line, but K-State had the block set up. This time she goes to the tip. Quick set for Hendricks, and Hendricks with the kill. 21 for her.
Such patience here by Hendricks throughout that rally. Multiple swings, using her opportunity where she has the full transition and has time to take a swing.
Sylvester blocked by TCU. Hendricks, I believe, is the one who got it. Alexis Robertson was there as well.
And that's that help action by Hendricks, helping on the block there, and I'm not sure that Schmidt was expecting her there.
The float serve short. Tough ball to handle, but Wildcats do a nice job. Myers. Over the last half set, going back to the third set, Myers has just put this team on her back.
Her and setter Ava LeGrand, I have to say, you know, take a look at number 11 for K-State when you can, and the sets that she's dishing out from long distances. That's the key to the offense for K-State.
Myers again. 18 kills for Shaylee Myers, the senior. Had 34 kills against West Virginia. Set for Myers again, and it's Myers one more time. TC just doesn't seem to have an answer for her right now.
Well, Myers utilizing the line. You see here the triple block by TCU. That is up to the end blocker for TCU to get all the way over to the antenna and not allow any line shot past her.
Overpass. And in the middle, it's Jordan Williams, the Kentucky transfer. You know, you talked about it earlier. A lot of this has to do with how tough K-State's been serving all night long. Every serve just seems to be difficult.
That was your chance, Chuck.
That was my chance. My opportunity for a kill, but I'll just let.
I saw your hands go up like the Gators.
I was doing
right
the Gator
there.
right there. You taught me how to do that earlier.
I know.
Myers had it blocked. Myers again goes down the line. Quick dump in the middle by Fody.
Something we haven't seen from Fody yet. Utilizing that opportunity, so something about her, she's able to do that because she's now in the front row. So a new look for TCU in their offense, running that 5-1 with the setter in the front row.
Murphy with a tough serve. Bump set all the way across the court, and it was a good set. TCU with the point. And LeGrand saying, well, she didn't touch it. And we're gonna have a challenge here.
Kansas State is challenging a net fault.
So the call was a net fault here. Let's see if we can see it. And it looks like hard to tell from that angle. It looked like it might have been the inside player here, Williams, who touched the net. I don't know. Again, hard to see.
All I know is there's
the
some
call is reverse
desperation.
point Kansas State. They retain their challenge.
Looked like that ball was in anyway. Well, they ended up calling Hendricks under the net. So again, they could look at anything. Yeah, she lands right on the red line there. So the reversal makes it 8-7 Kansas State. Ava LeGrand will serve. Hendricks. LeGrand sets the outside for Myers, and that connection's worked all night.
Kansas State pretty crisp right now in their offense. You can see Myers ultra sure of her trust in setter LeGrand, knowing where she wants to go. And Ella Foti pulling her hands down, thinking she's going to get tooled on that block.
Fox goes cross court for the kill. And the way K-State has played tonight, you wonder how they've struggled to a 3-4 record in the Big 12. I mean, they look like one of the better teams we've seen in all aspects, really. I mean, they've done a really nice job defensively. Their setter's been on the mark with almost everything she's thrown up there. And, of course, Myers and Clinton terminating them, 36 of them between the two of them. I mean, they have given TCU everything they can handle here tonight. Back row attack, Hendricks. Clinton. I don't know, she's a little upset with herself, but I'm not sure there's much she was going to do. She was diving across the court to try and dig this ball.
It was too fast to make a decision. I think Clinton thought she had it, but Evan Hendricks has the whip of an arm swing. It's too fast to react.
Myers had it blocked. Becca Kelly there for TCU.
And the set here is off the net for Myers, so Becca Kelly staying disciplined and just keeping her hands low and over the net to take that ball.
Hendricks will serve. Goes short. Myers again, Volpe digs it. Hendricks out of the back row and off the block.
And Hendricks available in the back row. You can see Archer, setter Rosemary Archer, not a whole lot of options there.
Again, a short serve by Hendricks, causing some problems. Archer sets Becca Kelly, goes to the tip. Great defensive job by Clinton on the back row. Kept that ball off the floor. Myers again.
And really, it's the defensive effort for K-State right now that's getting them opportunity after opportunity, this time an in-system one, which usually ends well in their favor.
Myers back to the service line. Comes up short. Service error number 8. Alice Volpe will serve. Clinton with a big swing from way off the net. TCU forced to just bump it over. LeGrand goes to Myers out of the back row. TCU. Kelly. Becca Kelly, too much power. The Wildcat was there, just could not handle it.
And what an angle here. She recognized the block coming in. She utilized that sharp angle, though. I think Becca Kelly is going to start to take some bigger swings here.
Simone Sims, as Fox terminates that one. Simone Sims was the player who got to Kelly's ball, but just couldn't handle it. That's a big swing by Reagan Fox.
1 against 1. So I think that's the first line shot we've seen by Fox. It looks like she likes that.
5 kills for her tonight. Clinton kept alive by TCU, but not off the floor.
And one thing you'll notice for TCU, they have another lineup now. So same people, Elafody is not setting. Elafody is now an attacker. So running a 5-1 with Rosemary Archer setting, Elafody as an opposite attacker.
Becca Kelly. Kelly now with 12 kills.
And so now Lauren Murphy, will come in. Elafody will be a back row attacker, a setter now.
Some versatility showing for the Horned Frogs.
There's all sorts of offensive things going on that side of the net.
Great job by K-State to save that ball from going into the seats. Myers, what a job by Myers to even get to that ball. She was almost in the wall. She couldn't keep it on the court, but great effort. Timeout on the floor, TCU up by 2 here in the 4th set. Back after this. TCU's coaching staff talking things over. They have a 2-point lead here in the 4th set, trying to close the match out. They had an opportunity in the 3rd set to do it. 3 match points, just couldn't get over the hump. And you got to hand it to K-State. They have really played hard tonight, especially on the defensive end. I've been impressed with how many balls they've been able to dig that I thought were going to be, points for the Horned Frogs, but somehow they kept it off the floor. Not only kept it off the floor, but then got it in a position where they could actually, make a decent set.
Well, and that's the thing, is making some plays where they're sprawled out, they're digging with one hand, and then they've got the fixer setter, Ava LeGrand, to fix it and run an in-system set.
39 assists for her. There's the block by TCU, and again, it's LeGrand who keeps it off the floor. This time, Fox pushes it over. Volpe with the set for Kelly. And that one's out.
Another long rally.
They have to be exhausted because I'm exhausted.
I know.
LeGrand sets the outside for Clinton. Lauren Murphy with the lift. Murphy thought she had the point. She split the blockers, but called for the lift.
Okay, so if it's a lift, she should take it from below or behind her and throw it down. That's all I'm going to say about that. Not my opinion, just what I see.
Back row attack by Myers. Clinton had it partially blocked and blocked again as TCU doing a good job of getting the block up and down the line. And again, Clinton tries to go down the line. You said it in the break to me. You said TCU needs to just have somebody hanging out by the pin because that's all that she's trying to do.
And that's exactly it. You can see here, Clinton, that's what she wants to go to when she's in trouble. That's her get out of jail money ball. Send it down the line. So you put someone there, you're going to take that away.
Overpass. Sarah Sylvester. She's had a great match. 11 kills for Sarah Sylvester, or check that, 12 kills now for Sarah Sylvester. Timeout taken by Kansas State. This is one of the bigger leads that TCU's had all night long. The first set was a 26-24 TCU win, 25-23 in the second set. We went to 34 in the third set. This is probably as wide a margin as TCU's opened up on K-State this late in the set all night long.
Exactly, and you know, as a player, that's got to be just a great feeling. I mean, having a little bit of cushion to just take a deep breath and relax. Sarah Sylvester, 12 kills, 3 digs. Middle blockers, you're not used to seeing that, and 3 blocks. One thing I'll say is this little duo with Becca Kelly serving and then Sarah Sylvester finishing it off. It's been a fun coincidence, you know, in the last set that Becca Kelly, I think, was on one of the only service runs for TCU in the entire match, and Sarah Sylvester was able to take care of those overpasses that Becca Kelly was creating. So Becca Kelly serving is a good position for TCU to be in right now.
And we haven't really seen her. I don't think we've seen her at the service line maybe once all year long. She has not played back there or served, but she's just a heck of a volleyball player. And that's one of the reasons the coaches are just saying we need to keep her in the game more. So maybe we've got to do some things. And, you know, Jason Williams saying he wanted to try some new things out tonight, and he has. There's the block, but kept alive. And Kelly's only served in 3 other matches the entire year. Not sure how that ball stayed off the floor. But Murphy finished it off.
And you know, it's always interesting when teams are kind of tired, which I would imagine, you know, if they're human, they are right now. And you start to dish the ball out to different hitters. So Lauren Murphy seeing a lot more sets and able to finish it.
Clinton goes to the off-speed ball. And both teams looking a little tired here. You can see a lot more pushing the ball over than taking big swings. Even Hendricks there with a roll shot. Clinton comes up short. And I would imagine, you know, you play, that your legs have to get tired after this much jumping.
You know, definitely to take a big swing to end a rally is hard. But you know what's even harder is digging the tips and the roll shots. And So there was a lot of that in that last rally, lots of off speed, things like that, lots of running down the ball. And then if you get set that ball, try jumping and getting a kill.
TCU with a 4-0 scoring run. They've opened up a 20-14 lead, trying to close this match out. Evan Hendricks with 25 kills, 23 digs for Hendricks in the match. You talk about the difficulty of doing both of those things, and she's done a lot of each. Also got a couple of blocks. Sylvester and Kelly, the next two on the list for the Horned Frogs with 12 kills apiece. Shaylee Myers has 21 kills, 9 digs for the Wildcats. And Anaya Clinton, 17 kills. They've been the ones who have done the majority of the scoring. Schmidt has 7 kills. She's next on the list for the Wildcats, but most of her scoring was done earlier in the match.
And I think K-State is looking to Schmidt when they can. The last few rallies, they've gone to her. She's just been dug up. So, you know, I think that's part of Coach Mansfield's plan, is to get Schmidt in the game. You know, if you know at this point that's setting the middle is going to open up the pins. You know, the TCU block has to honor Schmidt if she's given the ball.
Becca Kelly, once again on a big run. She had a 5-0 run that kept TCU in it earlier. She's got an ace here. Maybe TCU's found their serving star here tonight.
You know, I think a player like Becca Kelly, too, just on the court, we've said it multiple times, an athlete is physical. She needs to keep going, stay warm, and, hey, contribute from the service line.
Well, took a big swing here, but that's out of bounds. Last touch, though, by the Wildcats. And they're going to challenge this, I believe. And they elect not to challenge it. Kelly with the serve, and a 6-0 run at the service line for her. And TCU doing a much better job of blocking Clinton. That one's partially blocked. Kelly can't handle it on the back line. That ends the 6-0 scoring run for TCU, but it's Frogs have a cushion here as they look to close this one out.
And Clinton doing her best to swing high. It works out for her that time. I think looking for those high hands. She's had a tough situation with a double block on her.
Clinton with a great dig on the back line. Myers has it blocked. And you can see right now Myers and Clinton, they're not getting off the floor like they were even last set.
And that's tough. And on top of that, TCU is closing that line block now. You take a look at Lauren Murphy's outside hand. This time she's made an adjustment.
Schmidt off the one-legged attack with the kill.
And you know, Schmidt being 6'6", the ball has to be in her window. So that time it was, and it's so easy for her. You know, when the ball is too low, too inside, it's harder to correct it.
Backside set for Murphy. Lauren Murphy with the big swing. 8 kills for her.
Lauren Murphy really stepping up, not only as a blocker here, but she's found her opening. And I'll say that set is exactly what she's looking for.
TCU a chance to close this match out. Murphy comes up short. It'll still be match point, though, for TCU as they're leading 24-17, so they've got a little wiggle room here. That's one of the benefits of the big lead. Ava LeGrand with the serve. Set to the outside. Hendricks wins it for TCU. Only appropriate that Evan Hendricks, with her 26th kill of the match, would send TCU to victory.
Such an impressive swing to finish this match. Look how high up, look how fast she swings. I think she even closed her eyes. She was hitting so hard. What an spectacular recovery by TCU in that fourth set after dropping the third.
And Evan Hendricks, 26 kills, hit 227, 23 digs. It's her 9th straight double-double as TCU comes away with a hard-fought victory here tonight. You got to give credit to both teams, Katie. They played really hard.
Super impressive. A lot of great volleyball going on tonight here from both sides.
Well, TCU comes away with a 4-set victory tonight here at Schollmeyer Arena. They keep their perfect record at home intact. They're now 10-0 here at Schollmeyer Arena. For Katie Carter, this is Chuck LaMadola saying so long from Fort Worth, where the final tonight is TCU 3, Kansas State 1. All games airing on the ESPN networks are archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.